Welcome back to Sports Fans Only with your boy Sean Mack. And today we're going to be discussing a little boxing, specifically that Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight supposed to be going on in September on the 12th. But as we all know, boxing is one of them things. I've had boxing matches that I love, and I know it's coming up, and they can get canceled. So I won't get my hopes up until they start playing that music and they're walking out of those tunnels. And even then, I'll be waiting for them to get to the middle of the ring to hear that bell say, let's go. Now, 90% of the people that I see picking online and on TV and on YouTube, most of them have Canelo winning this fight. But you know what? I've seen this before. I've seen a lot of people pick Errol over Crawford. Most recently in sports in general, most people was picking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. But I've seen this before, and I get very weary when majority is picking one side. So it made me think, and I'm like, how can Crawford win this fight? And they met in the middle of the ring after Canelo fighting, had the match with Skull. And that was a boring fight, by the way. But I looked at it, and I looked at them together, looking in their eyes, not saying each man, either of them looked scared or anything like that. But I looked, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going with Crawford. I think I'm picking Crawford on this fight. So here I'm going to tell you why Terence Crawford, will finish Canelo Alvarez's career. And here's how. Crawford will beat Canelo with footwork and timely power punches. So he's going to win with his footwork and his power. Canelo will be stalking Crawford for the entire night. This is how I see the fight. Canelo's going to be stalking Crawford for the entire night, trying to deliver those body shots that he's known for. They're quite devastating. But in the middle of trying to stalk that body, because I'm pretty sure Crawford's like, if I just wear him down, he is technically the smaller man. Even though on that night Crawford might be a little bigger, they will be the same size. So I see Crawford trying to stalk him and deliver those body shots throughout the early rounds so he can try to take down the smaller man in Bud Crawford. But I also see while Canelo is trying to stalk him to land some of those body shots, Crawford is going to counter Canelo with an overhand right that's going to hurt Canelo. Then he's not going to go to the body as much. Canelo has great defense, some of the best defense and head movement I've ever seen in boxing history. I think his head movement is very, very underrated. Get in that comment section. Let me know if you think Canelo defense and head movement is very underrated. To be honest with you, it reminds me at times, not all the time, at times, it reminds me of Pernell Whitaker. The way he darts forward, moves back, move a little to the left, and come straight back. And sometimes he delivers punches or he just resets, then come back to the body. But with that being said, Terence Crawford has some of the best counter-punching ability I've ever seen in boxing. We all seen what he did to Errol Spence Jr. None of us expected that, but it happened. Crawford is going to have to use the entire ring for the entire fight. If Crawford is fighting off the ropes for the majority of the fight, Canelo wins that fight hands down. He's going to win it easily because the last place, in my opinion, that Crawford wants to be on that night in that ring is on the ropes. If he's on the ropes, that means Canelo's well in the way at his body, and he's trying to come for that uppercut, that nasty uppercut in his overhand right. But in my opinion, I don't think that will happen. Crawford will be on his toes all night, making sure he stay away from the corner, exchanging power punches with Canelo whenever he can, and then backing out and resetting. Now let's take a quick listen to what some celebrities had to say about the upcoming fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford, September 12th.
We got Canelo, we got Terence Crawford. That's going to happen in the fall. It's going to happen here in Sin City, your hometown. How do you feel about that matchup?
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And it's not. This isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with weight.
That's almost impossible to answer. That's going to be an absolute dogfight. I have to go Canelo. I think he's a little bit bigger. And I think that's going to work to his advantage, but that'll be one of the best fights, period.
Knockout or decision?
Decision. I think it might be a split.
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Bud Crawford. How do you think that thing plays out?
T. Crawford.
T. Crawford?
Fucking monster, bro.
By finish, or does it go the distance?
I done tried to buy T. Crawford like 20 drinks. Like, took him to the strip club, took him to the regular club, won't drink nothing, and won't spend nothing. Do you hear what I said?
He doesn't spin?
Don't spend.
Doesn't drink?
Don't drink.
Well, that's how you know he's on the straight and narrow path.
Oh, what you said. What you said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what it's all about. So we got him. No size difference. Nothing, doesn't matter. He's going to go up there. He's going to take care of business.
Yeah. I think T. Crawford going to take care of business. I like that fight. He ain't got to lose much weight. He can come in strong.
Who do you favor if we do eventually see that matchup?
To be honest, first and foremost, I favor the fans. The fans, we want to see a great fight. We want to see the best fight the best. Even if the Crawford got to go up 3 weight classes to face the best and the king in the face of boxing of Canelo Alvarez. But I'm still going to go with my stablemate, Canelo Alvarez, with the win. Now, what decision? I think it's a late knockout. If not, it might end in 6.
The Schmo knows you love your combat sports. What do you make of?
Just as I expected, 90% towards Canelo. That's what I'm saying. You can't, when everyone is betting on something to happen in sports, most likely it won't happen. So you got to look at the other opponent and say, well, how could this guy possibly beat him, since everyone think that they can't beat him? And this is why I'm telling you, I believe Terence Crawford will most definitely stop Canelo and end Canelo's career. That's just my opinion, but we all have opinions. One of us got to be right and one of us got to be wrong. And the ones that are right are going to gloat and say, I told you. And the ones that aren't right are going to give excuses. Well, the majority are going to give excuses on why they got lost. So this is how I see it. Eventually, Canelo is going to get tired around round 8 or round 9, because he's going to be chasing Crawford for a lot of that fight, trying to angle him off and give him those body shots. Crawford's going to be on his toes, angling Canelo off and trying to deliver his shots where he can. I think he's going to get his shots in where he can with overhand rights. Maybe he'll go to the body a little bit. I tell you this, if Crawford ever get in trouble in this fight, expect him to switch to southpaw. That's just my opinion. Maybe he come out southpaw and then he switch to orthodox. I'm not sure, but I know one thing. I think he's going to switch to it if he's in trouble. Maybe Crawford has seen some footage of Canelo fighting someone that's left-handed, and he's going to actually say, okay, he had problems with him, so I'm going to switch up a little bit right there. So around the 8th or 9th round, like I said, I see Canelo getting tired. And then I think that's when you'll see Crawford start to come forward and try to walk Canelo down to finish him, to stop him. It's just my opinion. Don't get mad. I like Canelo. I think he's one of the best boxers to ever square off with an opponent in the ring. But he didn't look that good against Skull his last fight. I know Crawford is older, but Canelo has more wear and tear on his body, in my opinion. I think everyone could agree with that, right? He's a warrior. He's a medical warrior. He done been through a lot of fights. He done been through a lot of wars. He done had a lot of fights that went the distance. See, I'm never going to be one of those boxing YouTubers or someone that analyzes boxing and say that I'm going to be 100% right on this, because I don't know. No one knows, right? But if Crawford wins in the manner of which I'm saying he's going to win, going to be like I told people. I saw it. Now, if they come out there and start boxing and Canelo just starts to whoop up on Crawford because he's too big, like everyone's saying, he's been through too many wars, he's too skilled, his defense is too impeccable, Crawford can't touch him, will I be shocked? No, because it's boxing. This would always happen. I'm an Errol Spence fan. I thought Errol Spence was going to beat Crawford. But I did hear Bo Mack say this one day after the fight. After the fight, they said, what happened in the ring? And he said, well, Errol let Crawford grow into his body. And what I took from that, he was saying, well, if Errol and Crawford would have had fought maybe 2 years before they eventually fought, Errol probably would have won that fight because Crawford wasn't yet used to walking around with that weight. But who knows? We can be right, we can be wrong. We're boxing fans. This is how it happened, right? We're sports fans. We're sports fans only. So my prediction, Crawford stops Canelo within 10 rounds. And on that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Sports Fans Only. Holla.